Hey, what's going on? This is Leo. So let's take a look here at XRP, kind of give my thoughts as to the situation with the SEC is what's going on. So obviously the SEC has been going after XRP for quite a while now, and I think what we need to do is ask ourselves, well, why? Why is, out of all of the cryptos, why is XRP such a target for the very corrupt SEC? And I think the answer is power, right? So the bankers and central banks around the world are working on making their own bank digital currencies, or in the case of central banks, their central bank digital currency. Now, what XRP and the Ripple Labs are trying to do is they're trying to tackle the SWIFT cross-border transactions market, which is where basically, let's say that you are let's say you're an Indian person here in the United States and you have family back in India and you want to send them money. Well, typically you're going to have to do a SWIFT wire transfer, which can take, 3 to 5 days, however long. And there's high fees involved with that in order to send money to your family. That's just a small example of what the SWIFT wire transfer system is used for. It has issues where, or the biggest issue is settlement, right? So settlement takes a long time, whereas if you're sending cryptocurrency, it's pretty much instant. It's instantly settled and the money is there. So I think that what is going on with the SEC is that because we all know that they're corrupt, right? We've seen actions that they've taken in the past that are not in the interest of the public, but more advantageous to bankers and investors, people that are have influence over the SEC. We've seen this; they continually reject Bitcoin ETFs and whatnot. They just recently rejected a spot ETF, and now I believe I want to say it's BlackRock, but whoever it is, they're going after the SEC and suing them because there are countries around the world that have approved Bitcoin ETFs. Why are you giving us so much trouble, Mr. SEC? So, Gary Gensler, I just don't trust the guy. So anyway, so that's what they're trying to do. Banks hate crypto, right? So why is it that a banker hates crypto? Well, that's kind of like, I don't know if some of y'all were still, I imagine a lot of y'all were around back whenever Blockbuster was around, but that's kind of like asking Blockbuster what they think of Netflix. They're not going to give you a positive response because Netflix put them out of business. And I think that's where we're headed with the cryptocurrency space. We're already seeing it with decentralized finance. And I think ultimately what these bankers see is the death of their market. Their business is going to die over time. There's really not much that they can do about it. It's just what we call in economics creative destruction, which is where something old is destroyed and replaced by something that's new and innovative and better. So, for example, we now have streaming services, right, which is better than having to go to a Blockbuster store and sort through different DVDs and whatnot, figure out what you're wanting to rent for the night. Whereas now you can just open up your laptop, click a video, and you're playing in seconds. Whereas before, it might take 30, 45 minutes out of your day to have to go and find the movie, then come back home, have enough time to make dinner and all that. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but getting back to XRP. So that's why you're seeing these bankers come out and they're just so against it. We just recently saw Jamie Dimon come out and say that he thinks, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are nothing but a big Ponzi scheme. Okay. That's, that's calling the kettle black. It's just like these bankers are just so money hungry and whatnot. I wouldn't trust anything that they say. Just think about it. The SWIFT wire transfer system processes around $6 trillion every day. Right. So all the bank fees and everything that they earn would go away if you use these XRP or any other cryptocurrency or decentralized finance. Those fees are gone. So they're not earning that money anymore. Of course, they're not going to be for it. But anyway, so getting on to the market share part of it, which is why I personally don't own any XRP. I'm not against it. It's just not appealing to me personally as an investment. Could the price go up considerably? Absolutely. This is crypto where dog coins go up several thousand%. But anyway, so my concern is that so the best assets that we see performing are ones that have monopolies over their markets. So, for example, Google has a monopoly over the search engine market. Yes, there are other search engines, but none of them really compare to Google. We see the same thing with Tesla, where Tesla dominated the space. Well, I guess not Tesla. I'm thinking Elon Musk, but SpaceX and Tesla both dominated market sectors that weren't really being explored by anybody else. And so they were able to capture a massive market share. So the problem here that's going on with the SEC is that they're kind of, XRP, is they're kind of going to war with the SEC and bank digital currency. So if like Wells Fargo or JP Morgan Chase come out and they want to make their own currency to do these cross-border transactions, now they're kind of at war with XRP as to who's going to win. Competition historically bleeds out. It gets rid of profits. And so for that reason, I personally it's just not appealing to me to get into the middle of that. If they succeed, yes, it'll go up a lot. If they fail, it's kind of like, well, okay, now what's going to happen? So I don't really like those personally, those types of investments. I can't give investment advice. These are just my thoughts. Obviously, could it go up to $5-10 or whatever? Possibly. I would have to take a look. Let me see hang on. Let me take a look at what their circulating supply is. Okay, so it's already hit $4 in the past. So if things go well, it could obviously. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to go to $10, just based on FOMO and people hyping it up and whatnot. If I was in this trade, what I would do is if it goes up, then I'm out. I'm not going to stick around and hold this long term because I think it's going to be a visionary type company. Because of them going to war with central banks and current banks and whatnot, it's just not as appealing to me. Whereas, for example, like Ethereum, they're not necessarily going to war with banks, right? Because they're essentially a software platform that you can build anything you want on top of it. So for example, Chase, they could take Ethereum, use the platform, use the execution layer that processes the transactions, and build their own bank digital currency on top of Ethereum. That's where I think Ethereum's value comes from. They have a monopoly almost within the smart contract space. There's nowhere near any, it's not comparable how much developer talent is working on Ethereum versus all these other little coins. There's just no comparison. So I do think that this court case, however this ends, it's going to be a huge deal for crypto, because if the SEC wins, it's not really good, right? Because now they're probably going to say, okay, well, we've won this battle. Now we can go after other cryptocurrencies. Let's see who else we can get. Let's see how much more power we can grab for our department. Even though they claim to be understaffed as it is, they want more power and more things to regulate. Doesn't really make sense, does it? So anyway, so securities are more heavily regulated than commodities. And personally, to me, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these are commodities. The SEC really has no business doing anything with them, and these just stay out of the cryptocurrency space. These are commodities, not securities. So we already know that the SEC is corrupt, right? We don't want them touching cryptocurrencies. We don't want their paws on it whatsoever. We need them out of the space. Just go play around with your stocks and whatnot. But once this is settled, I think that regulation for crypto is a good thing, but I want it to be the commodities department. I don't want it to be in the securities. And what that's going to do is that's then going to bring in the sovereign wealth that we talked about in the previous video, which is what I think is going to send Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other cryptocurrencies to all new highs within this next bull market cycle, which I believe we're starting now. I believe that market has bottomed and we are going to be moving to newer highs here within the next, it's hard to say exactly when, but sometime before 2025, I believe that we're going to be seeing all new highs for cryptocurrencies. So anyway, until next time, I'll talk to you soon.